So one of the challenges that needs to be worked on is the connection between child and parent, and how do we how do we build these connections so that future generations can build on this 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 parent-child connection. So for years to come, each generation of children knows how to truly connect um, between parent and child, because I believe this connection is um, is needs needs the it needs to be fostered. It needs to be built, because one of the things you see as when you become an adult, a lot of times you go back and say, you're 20. I don't know, when you start really looking at life in retrospect. So say in your 30s, your 40s, some 50s, some 60s. I don't know. Maybe you're older than that, and you go back and say, where what am I what what happened? What did I need to work on? What am I working on now that I have issues with now? Do I have emotional issues? I haven't accomplished issues? Do I have self-esteem issues? I mean, things like that. But you're going through your life as you got older, and you're trying to figure out these answers, and a lot of times these answers, or a lot of times what I hear is that people always go back to their childhood. They know something happened during their childhood, or they didn't get something wasn't there they needed. Whether it be guidance, whether it be some sort of parent-child thing was missing, or that they wanted. And as a father, I recognize that parenting is it's not an easy thing. Yes, there is not a manual, but that doesn't mean that you should have excuses either. To say, I didn't have this when I was a child, so tough. I don't think that's a fair statement to your children and your child or children. You need to be able to step up. And when you go and be a parent, it's not a half in, half out thing. It's an all in thing. You have to be all in. You have to make that commitment, because if you don't make that commitment to your children, mind, body, heart, and soul, then they'll also be searching. And it's alright if they search, but if they have a good foundation to build on, then you will be comfortable that you've raised your child the best way you could. You put them out there to help themselves, to help others, to help the planet. I mean, by them doing the things to help them connect, for you to help them connect to their heart, their mind, their body, soul, to help them open themselves up to the creative force they are. There is no doubt that they will help this world. There's just no doubt in my mind that would happen. But I think one of the things that we do as parents, or that I've seen and I've heard, is that you might just say, you do this because I told you so, because this, because that, because it's not really giving them any guidance. You're just telling them. You're not giving them any reason, but you're just telling them. And sometimes telling is just not necessarily a good format of education, because it's not giving them you're not helping them build the connections they need. And like I said, this is all about us connecting to our children socially, Again, mentally, I mean, emotionally, I mean, we can go on, but we have to build these these connections. So one of the things that I think of when I say that you need to, when I'm saying when you go out and say do this, try this, you know, I think one of the things that we as parents don't do is we don't share in this communication. The communication seems to be one-sided. It's not a two-way street. So if you're married, if you're not married, if you're divorced, I mean, um, whatever, single, whatever, um, you will understand that communication you have to have it. You have to have this communication, and communication, by definition, is really two ways. And if it's not communicating, then it's a lack. Then it's pretty much maybe a one-way communication. So there's so there you already find the breakdown in communication, because you cannot be communicating if you're communicating one way. So if you're telling yourself and you're saying to your children, like, yeah, I'm communicated to them, I'm telling them this, I'm telling them that, you're not communicating with them. They're not communicating back. What's the connection that you're building there? So I think that one of the things that when I said that you have to be all in is that when you're trying to help your children mentally, you know, physically, in your mind, body, um, heart, and soul, you're trying to build them. You should also be trying to help yourself. This should be helping you. This challenge that you're giving your children to be the best, to open themselves up to the creative universe, their I am presence, their avatar self, themselves, you should be doing the same thing. You should be in this journey with them. They should not be on a journey alone. As a guide's guide. As a parent, you are one of their guides. They chose you. So they should not be on this journey alone. And for a lot of you that have gone through life and then and have experienced this, you'll understand what I'm saying. You need a guide. And especially even as you get older, you're searching for guides. I have an idea what I want, but you still want to make that connection, because there are things that you see that you may need to work on, that you may want to find, and you reach out, and then you can make a connection, and then you try to move up. You try to build that ascension process, to start that ascension process in yourself, and you want to make that connection. So with your children, the challenge is also that you need to make sure that you're in this process with them. So if you're telling them, emotionally they need to do this, physically, exercise, the nutrition, the mental aspects, you're challenging them, as you're trying to put them on a path, you're trying to move them through the least resistance, you're trying, that is one of your goals, and you acknowledge that there will be obstacles in the way, but as a parent, you take all that knowledge that you've seen or you've seeked out and try to apply. And again, like I said, there's no manuscript for this. There's no those books. There's no like do A, B, C, D. Not necessarily. But you have to make your challenges. You have to make your falls too. And your children have to see that you're not infallible. You make mistakes. You go through this with them. You can't be hello, to your children and say, I want you to eat this. You need to eat healthy. You need to be in good shape. You need to do this. But here you are, stuffing in your face, with much donuts and whatever, and laying on the couch while you're directing them to lead a healthier life. Well, children are extremely, extremely smart. We do not give them enough credit, and maybe we definitely should give them that credit. When we talk to them, don't talk to them like they're teeny people. They are, but we talk to them so that they can't grasp what we're trying to say. And maybe if we're trying to say something that they're not grasping, then we need to figure out another way to speak to them. We have to find a way on how to speak to our children. If your way is not working, that doesn't mean there isn't a way. That doesn't mean that. It just means you're just not on that wavelength yet. And once you get there, once you get on that wavelength, there will be an understanding between you two. There will be a connection. And there will be a bond that is not breakable. That is not breakable. And as a guide, a guru, a sensei, a sifu, all these things that are out there that are supposed to help others. This is what you should. When people say practice what you preach, absolutely. When you are doing these things with your children, you're going through the same process as them. You're trying to take yourself to the next level also. And there's the challenge that you are both on a journey, journey for your journey. Your journey is you're helping your child, but you're also helping yourself in your journey. But as you guys are doing your journeys, whether it be individually, you're still connected in a broader journey, which is amazing. And that's the one thing I want to see for our planet, is that even though we have these individual goals, we strive to let ourselves break through our creative shell and to move forward. We also want to make sure that we're also bringing as many people up as we can. Can we do that? Can we bring our children up? If we're raising our children up and we're staying low, that doesn't make any sense. Why would we do that? Our life isn't over. It's not done. Just because we have a kid, you don't stop growing emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You don't stop growing. We're vessels that can take. We're unbelievable what we can do. The vessels that we are and what can flow through us. So it's not over once you have children. It's not over when you hit 70. Now, if you don't want it to be, you can move. You can progress. So, one of the challenges I want for parents, it doesn't have to be necessarily just parents, but I mean that's where my passion is to help parents. I'm a single parent, but it's not just for single males, single females. It can also go, also with parents too, and any other guides out there that are trying to help the children to connect, to have this connection with our children, to have a broader connection to have a connection with ourselves and a connection to this world. We need to take this challenge. We need to stand up and say we can do this, and we will challenge, and we will understand that when we make mistakes, when we fall or we fail, that we will get back up and we can do this again and over, and our children can understand that, hey, we will make mistakes, but we will rise together, individually and together, to make ourselves, to fulfill our dreams and fulfill our passions, and help this planet, help humanity. So, until next time, this is Drew Mincy.